Shalom, peace and blessings, everyone. Welcome to Generational Impact for Yeshua channel. I'm Brother Chuka. Today's Igbo word is ShieBbata, which means to enter. ShieBbata is commonly known as the word Shabbat or Sabbath. So ShieBbata, to enter into his rest. I'm going to read today from Hebrews chapter 4, from verse 1 to 11, from the Scriptures version. Therefore, since a promise remains of entering into his rest, let us fear lest any of you seem to have come short of it. For indeed the good news was brought to us as well as to them, but the word which they heard did not profit them, not having been mixed with belief in those who heard it. For we who have believed do enter into that rest, as he has said, as I swore in my wrath, if they shall enter into my rest. And yet his works have come into being from the foundation of the world. For somewhere he has said thus about the seventh day, and Elohim rested on the seventh day from all his works. And in this again, if they shall enter into my rest. Since then it remains from some to enter into it, and those who formerly received the good news did not enter in because of disobedience. He again defines a certain day, today, saying, through David, so much later as it has been said, today, if you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts. For if Joshua had given them rest, he would not have spoken of another day after that. So there remains a Sabbath keeping for the people of Elohim, that's Israel. For the one having entered into his rest has himself also rested from his works, as Elohim rested from his own. Let us therefore go out our utmost to enter into that rest, lest anyone fall after the same example of disobedience. So it's so important to observe and to guard his Sabbath day, okay? And is a labor by itself to enter into it, which is spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally. And that day we're talking about is that seventh day. It started all the way in Genesis chapter 2. So in Genesis 1, it talks about all the creation, the Most High's creation of the heaven, everything in the heavens and the earth. Within that 6 days, and on the seventh day he rested. So Genesis chapter 2 from verse 1 to 3. Thus the heavens and the earth were completed and all their array, and in the seventh day Elohim completed his work which he had done, and he rested in the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And Elohim blessed the seventh day and set it apart, because on it he rested from all his work which Elohim in creating had made. So he set that example himself, okay? Because he knew that he was going to establish this as a command to us for our own benefit. But he, as a great leader, set that example himself and rested that day, okay? Out of all of his creation, all his work, okay? We could see here in Exodus 16 when he first established it and gave it to the Israelites, his people, as Paul talked about in Hebrews 4. So in Exodus 16, we're reading from verse 23. And he said to them, this is what Yahweh has said. Tomorrow is a rest, a Sabbath set apart to Yahweh. That which you bake, bake, and that which you cook, cook, and lay up for yourselves all that is left over, to keep it until early day, known as morning. The reason I push, I say early day because the word morning comes with the word to mourn, so early day. And they laid it up till early day as Moshe commanded, and it did not stink, and no worm was in it. And Moses said, eat it today, for today is a Sabbath to Yahweh. Today you do not find it in the field. Gather it 6 days, but on the seventh day, which is the Sabbath, there is none. And it came to be that some of the people went out on the seventh day to gather, but they found none. And Yahweh said to Moses, How long shall you refuse? How long shall you refuse to guard my commands and my laws? See, because Yahweh has given you the Sabbath, therefore he has given you bread for 2 days, and on the 6th day, let each one stay in his place. Do not let anyone go out of his place on the 7th day. So the people rested on the 7th day. Okay, so you can see the people were struggling, even just listen to that command of just rest. They're just like, okay, I got to do something. It's Saturday. I gotta go. I got something to do. But he's saying just rest. Rest. You will see here in Exodus 20, when he established it as a command, as a part of his commandment, the 4th commandment. Exodus 20 from verse 8 to 11. It says, remember the Sabbath day. Because he says remember, it's important, because he knew it's going to be a point of time that, people will forget about it, or want to change it. Remember the Sabbath day to set it apart. 6 days you labor and shall do all your work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of Yahweh your Elohim. You do not do any work. You, nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your male servant, nor your female servant, nor your cattle or stranger, or your sojourner who is within your gates. For in 6 days Yahweh made the heavens and the earth, the sea and all that's in them, and rested the 7th day. Therefore Yahweh blessed the Sabbath day and set it apart. So it's very important to him, okay, to rest on that day. In Isaiah 58, verse 13, if you do turn back your foot from the Sabbath, from doing your pleasure on my set-apart day, and shall call the Sabbath a delight, the set-apart day of Yahweh esteemed, and shall esteem it, not doing your own ways, nor finding your own pleasure, nor speaking your own words, then you shall delight yourself in Yahweh, and I shall cause you to ride on the heights of the earth, and feed you with the inheritance of Jacob, your father. For the mouth of Yahweh has spoken. So the Sabbath day is very important. We are to enter into it, and there's blessings that come with it. Shalom. Thank you for listening. Bless y'all.